Hello friends, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Edurba Academy. I'm Kevin sir, your math tutor, and in today's lecture number 3 of chapter 2 angles, we'll learn how to bisect an angle with the help of compass. Now before we begin, let's understand instruments in your compass box with their use. This is a protractor. It can measure angles between two arms and in clockwise direction as well as in anti-clockwise direction. If you observe carefully, inner layer shows the 0 degrees on the right side and this measures angle in anti-clockwise direction between 0 to 180 degrees. Similarly, the outer layer shows 0 on the left side and it measures angle between two arms in clockwise direction. The second instrument here is scale or ruler. It measures distances between millimeters, centimeters and inches. The third instrument is compass. It is used to draw circles or arcs at a specified radius. So that means we can open up the compass, match it with the particular radius, and then we can draw circles or arcs by rotating the compass around the point of compass. The fourth instrument here is set square. We can measure or draw the angles of 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees with the help of set square. So if you observe, the angle here is 90 degrees. If I want to draw 90 degrees, I can simply take a set square, draw this line and draw this line. So that way I get a 90-degree angle. Whereas here the angle is 30 degrees and here the angle is 60 degrees. Similarly, on the other set square, again we have angle of 90 degree and other two angles are 45 degree. So with the help of these two set squares, we can easily draw two arms with the angles 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. Now let's understand divider. It is used to measure the distance between two points. So in this example, we have a divider between point A and B. So we open up the divider, we match it with point A and B because that is the distance we want to measure, and then we put it on the scale. So as you can see, we can match it with the 0 and then we can see where the other arm is pointing. So this is pointing to 9 centimeter. So that means the distance between point A and B is 9 centimeter. So now that we understand all the instruments in your compass box, let's understand bisector of an angle. So what is an bisector of an angle? A bisector divides angle between two equal angles. So we have angle ABC which is 60 degrees. Now we can draw a bisector which can divide this 60-degree angle into two 30-degree angles. So in this picture, angle ABC is divided into two equal angles by using the bisector BX. If you take a point A and C which are at the equal distance from the vertex B, that means distance BA and BC is equal, and then if you take any point X on the bisector, you can observe that this X will be at the equal distance from A and C. That means distance XA and XC will be equal. So let's verify that. As you see, I can use divider to measure the distance, and without changing the setting, if I put the divider like this, you'll see that it is the same distance. So that means distance XA and XC is equal. In other words, I can say that point X on the bisector is at equal distance from A and C. Similarly, if I take another point Y and if I measure the distance YA and YC, it will be also equal. Take another point Z and if we measure the distance ZA and ZC, it will be also equal. That means every point on the bisector will be at the equal distance from point A and C. Now we can use the same principle to bisect any given angle using compass. So if we are given any angle and if we have to bisect it, somehow if we found out the point on the bisector which is at equal distance from A and C, then we can easily draw a bisector to join the vertex and that point. So let's understand how to do it. We are going to do it with the help of compass. Just for our information, let's measure this angle. So you can see that this angle is 60 degrees and this is opening in anti-clockwise direction. Now this 60-degree angle, when we bisect, we are going to get two angles of 30 degrees, and that is what we are going to verify at the end. Now how to do it? Step 1, you have to find out point A and point C at equal distance from the bisector. So how we can do that? Place a point of compass on vertex B. You open the compass at a suitable distance and draw an arc. This arc is cutting the two arms of the angle at point A and point C. That is how we got distance BA to be equal to distance BC. In other words, I can say that point A and C are at equal distance from vertex B. Now, once we do that, we have to open up the compass at a suitable distance, place the point of a compass on point A and draw an arc inside the angle. Now, without changing this setting, we are going to keep the point of compass on point C and draw another arc intersecting our previous arc. Now what we got here? We got a point of intersection. Let's call this point as point M. Now did you observe that this point M is at equal distance from A and C? That means distance MA and MC is equal. Now do you remember? That is possible only if the point M is on the bisector. So now our job becomes a lot easier. We have to just join a ray starting from the vertex B and passing through the point M. That is nothing but our bisector. Now let's verify whether this bisector would bisect this angle into two 30-degree angles or not. So I'm going to place the compass here and you observe that this bisector is coming exactly at 30 degrees. So that means our bisector has successfully divided the 60-degree angle into two 30-degree angles. So that means we can say that ray BM has bisected angle ABC, and that's why ray BM is a bisector of angle ABC. Now let's solve problem number 2. In this, we need to construct an equal angle using compass. So we have angle ABC which is given to us, and we have to draw angle PQR which should be equal in measurement to ABC. That means angle ABC and angle PQR should be equal. Now we are not going to do this with the protractor. It becomes a lot easier with the protractor. So I have to just measure this angle and draw the same angle using the protractor. But that's not what we are doing. We are trying to understand the principle of bisector. So we are going to do this with the help of compass and not with the help of protractor. So how to do it? Let's begin by drawing ray QR which is matching ray BC. So these two rays are horizontal. So that is where I started. Now place the compass on vertex B and draw an arc which cuts these two arms at point D and point E. It is something similar to what we had did to bisect an angle. So now what happened here? This distance BD and BE is equal. That means points D and E are at equal distance from vertex B. Now using the same distance, that means without changing anything into the compass, place this compass at vertex Q and draw an arc in such a way that it cuts this arm at point T. That means segment BE and segment QT are equal in distance, and that is because we did not change compass opening when we draw this arc. Now place the compass on point E and open up the compass in such a way that the pencil will point towards the point D. So basically what we are doing here, we are adjusting the compass for the distance ED. In other words, I am finding how far the point D is from the point E. Now without changing the opening setting in compass, place the point compass on point T and draw an arc to cut the previously drawn arc at point S. So point S is at the intersection of these two arcs. Now, did you observe that point S is equivalent to point B on angle ABC? Now, our job is very easy. So now we have to just connect this point Q, that is vertex, and point S with the help of ray, and that is what we are going to do here. Now we have to name this angle. We wanted this angle to be angle PQR. We already have Q and R, so I have to add point P here. So that makes it angle PQR. Now if you observe, angle ABC is equal to the angle PQR. Now let's confirm that with the protractor. So we already know that angle ABC was 60 degrees. What about this? So now we confirm that angle PQR is equal to angle ABC with the help of protractor. Now children, this concludes our series of angles. In the next class, we are going to start the chapter number 3 in your maths textbook, which is nothing but integers. So see you in the next class.